Hey, boys and girls, good evening, and welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James live right here on the Fight Bananas platform. I am Christopher James, and I am happy to be here with you. Excuse me. It's been a little while since I've been on the air doing these shows, and Dave Van Auken from Fight Bananas gave me a ring and asked me if I wanted to jump on the Fight Bananas team. And, of course, I said, why the hell not? Excuse me. So good evening. Welcome to this first edition of KHR Christopher James live on Fight Bananas. Now, tonight we had a little problem with our Facebook. Don't know what the problem actually is. However, we are streaming exclusively tonight on our YouTube channel. So for you guys watching, let me do this right now before I forget. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just posting this up right here so people know to come look over at the excuse me. Okay, there we go. We're live. Oh, da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I can't find it. But anyway, welcome to KHR Christopher James. Sorry about the delays right there. Like I said, we're having some streaming issues with Facebook. Hopefully they'll be fixed tomorrow for Fight Bananas in the afternoon. But for right now, sucks that this is my debut with Fight Bananas and not working on Facebook. But whatever. Shit happens. You just roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to have three guests on tonight. Kai Stewart, the BKFC 145-pound champion. Torrez Finney, the 8-0 undefeated MMA prospect who's going to be on the Dana White Contender Series for the second time, back-to-back seasons. And hopefully this time he'll get a contract. He didn't get one last year. Dana White wanted to give him some more time to develop, I guess. You know, and that's part of the thing, you know, sometimes it happens. So Torrez Finney is going to be joining us, and the Queen of Violence, BKFC 125-pound champion Christine Ferea, is also going to be joining us tonight, and I'm excited to have her on the show. She's always a lot of fun to talk to. She's always got something to say. So we're going to jump in with her. For you guys joining on YouTube, thanks for jumping into the show tonight. If you haven't met me before, now you know who I am. Welcome to the show. Feel free to leave a comment, and I will respond to as many comments as I possibly can. Excuse me. Woke up with a little bit of a stuffiness today. I don't know what it is, but, you know, that's part of life. Sometimes you just wake up and, you know, you just keep going. Excuse me again. Let me blow my nose out here with some of this. Much better. So anyway, UFC 302 took place this weekend. We were all hoping that Dustin Poirier was going to finish the story. He put on a good fight, but Islam Makhachev, pardon me, is truly a phenomenal fighter. He put on a great show. He fought in places where he was probably uncomfortable, and he dominated in those places. He won the stand-up game. He won the ground game. He won the fight overall, finished it with the darts choke in the 5th round, put on a phenomenal performance. So that was awesome. Yeah. Steve, thanks, brother. Oh, man, Steve Schlosky. Love you too, brother, man. I'll feel better later. I took some, Dayquil or something, just to kind of pop it out right there, and hopefully anyway. But UFC 302, it was kind of a lackluster fight card. Not a lot of finishes. I think only 3 fights ended with finishes. The main event, the feature bout with Kevin Holland almost breaking an arm. And I forgot the other fight. Let me pull it up here. Jalton Almeida defeated Alexander Romanov by submission rear naked choke, 227 of round number 1. That was the first finish of the night, 5 fights in. Kevin Holland defeated Michael Alekjusic, 134, round 1 with an armbar. And, of course, Islam choked out Dustin Poirier at 242 of round number 1 with the darts choke. So that's it. The rest of it was decisions. The opening bout, Andre Lima and Mitch Raposo. Lima won 30-27, 30-27, and 28-29. He actually won a split decision when it should have been a unanimous decision. I picked Raposo to win because I like the guy. Raposo did not win 1 minute of that fight. The judge on that fight was a guy named Dave Torelli, and he had another egregious scorecard in the co-main event with Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. Sean Strickland won that fight. I had it 50-45 straight up. One of the judges had it 50-45 as well, Chris Lee. And then Sal D'Amato had it 49-46. He gave the first round to Costa. I still don't know what he was looking at, but Dave Torelli on that one also forced a split decision by giving 49-46 for Costa. I don't know what world this guy lives in, but how do you score that fight for Costa in any way, shape, or form? Dana White was furious. I was fucking furious. The world was furious, and when they read the first score, Sean Strickland's face, he's been on the end of some crappy decision in his career, he looked a little scared that he was going to get screwed again. Luckily, the other 2 judges got it right. So, that's the way it works sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that guy, Dave Torelli, should never be allowed to judge a fight. Absolutely, Forrest Daniels, you are 100% right. Thanks for stepping in tonight. Hey, Forrest, since you're watching, send me the link in Messenger to the show so I can share it up on Facebook so I can get some people watching on my Facebook page. I don't know why it's not linking us to Facebook tonight, but, shit happens, so. Smoke it up. So, let me message my first guest, make sure he's going to be here. Kai Stewart. Thanks, buddy. Put this up on Facebook real quick. I see the champ. I see him there. He's in the green room, and he's coming on in 3 minutes, guys. Kai Stewart is in the room. Excuse me. His mustache is looking sharp. He's got his tank top on. Yep, that's right. Tweet up that mustache, buddy. Tweet it up. Yeah, woohoo. Twist it up. I'm excited to talk to Kai. I've never had him on the show before. So we are definitely, thanks, Steve. Definitely excited. I see it there, Forrest. I got you, and I just shared it up. So let me share this to the groups. Share it to groups. Catch these hands. I think I'm going to do this on my phone. Man, I feel a little nervous being here tonight, to be honest with you guys. Been a while, you know what I'm saying? Two groups. So I hope everybody had a good weekend enjoying the fights. We had Alex Nicholson got a big win at XFC. I was excited for that. He's a awesome guy, great friend, and happy to see him back in the winner's circle. Bum, 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 bum. I think I hit them all, just about. All right, cool. All right, so we are here, boys and girls. It is a party. It is Monday night, a weekend after a UFC event, 302. Big news today, UFC 303 press conference with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler got canceled. They're calling it postponed, but it was canceled. McGregor, the UFC issued a statement last night at midnight. I broke the news right at midnight when it happened. And Conor McGregor tweeted out today, in consultation with the UFC, today's press conference was canceled due to a series of obstacles outside of our control. I apologize to my Irish fans and fans around the world for the inconvenience and appreciate all your love and support. And I can't wait to put on the greatest, what does it say here? The greatest show in the Octagon. All-time show in the Octagon. That's what he says. So we'll see. But, you know, what really happened, we don't know. You know, we don't know what happened. But could they cancel that fight? Is Conor going to pull out of that fight? We don't know. But we'll get back to it later. I'll even ask my man King Kai about it. So we're going to bring him on right now. It is 8:15. And like I said, it's time to get the party started. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I love it. I love it. I love it. And here he is right now. He is the reigning, defending King Kai. He is the one and only 145-pound champion of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the premier bare knuckle fighting organization in the world. He's a young guy from Montana. I believe he's from Montana. I've got to double check that. But he is from Montana. And he's kicking ass. He's undefeated at BKFC. We're going to bring him in right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to have on the show for the very first time the man himself, King Kai Stewart. Oh, yeah. What's up, buddy?
Love the intro. That intro got me hyped up.
Oh, it's supposed to get you hyped up, bro. I'm a little washed out in my white light tonight, but whatever. Nice to meet you finally face to face, even though it's like over the, you know, the internet and StreamYard and shit like that. But first of all, before we get into your upcoming fight, which you have a title defense coming up, just give everybody a little bit of an insight into King Kai. And, you know, I know that you have an MMA record. You didn't fight MMA a lot. But give everybody some insight as to what brought Kai Stewart to the world of bare knuckle. Like, how did we get here today?
Man, so I mean, I was a wrestler. Everybody knows every post-fight presser that I have. every post-fight speech, I got to thank wrestling. I've been wrestling since I was 4 years old, and I wouldn't have the life that I have. I wouldn't have the opportunities. I wouldn't have the people in my life because without wrestling. So hats off to wrestling first and foremost. Then I did 10 amateur fights after high school wrestling. I took a fight kind of I took a fight kind of just to do it. I heard that I could get ticket commission as an amateur, and I was a popular person because of my wrestling. So I went out, sold the freaking fight, lost split decision to a jiu-jitsu guy. He basically had me in a triangle the entire fight. And I thought I was beating his ass because he was just sitting there in the triangle. But they gave him a split decision win, and I wasn't going to do it again. I was going to go to college, be a doctor. That was the plan. And then the promoter, you know how promoters are, they call you and hype you up like, bro, you can make a career out of this. And, hats off to that promoter, Terrell Brackett. He called me and hyped me up into a second fight. And that's the only reason I'm still fighting. And then 10 amateur fights down the road, and Bare Knuckle came to Montana. And whenever Bare Knuckle came to Montana, they needed a ticket seller. And I'm just the coolest motherfucker that come out of Montana. And I was a lot cooler than everybody else on that card. And I sold a fuck ton of tickets, and they decided that, this kid can deliver. And then I kept beating everybody. And now that I have the belt, because there for a while, I was using bare knuckle to get my name out there to become an MMA fighter. But like I said a couple seconds ago, I'm just better and cooler than these guys. I think Nate Diaz said that. I'm just better than them. So I'm just going to stick around until, at this point, I think bare knuckle is my shot at financial freedom, because my lifelong goal was to be a freestyle wrestling world champion. That was my life goal, is to be a world champion. And the wrestling it didn't work out for me. I just ended up going a different route due to COVID. I had an injury in college that it was a pesky injury. It's not it doesn't bother me at all now, but it put me out for a while, and I just decided, hey, there's a better use of my time. And so I won my world title, and now it's just, we're chasing financial freedom. I achieved it. I achieved what I needed it to achieve, and now it's just having fun.
When you said your dream was to be a freestyle, I was waiting for you to go freestyle rapper. I was gonna laugh my balls off and go the freestyle rapper from Montana, twisting the mustache while he's spitting lyrics. I would have thought that was fucking awesome.
I do have 3 diss tracks out. My one diss track called "Put 'Em On." It's "Put 'Em On Notice," and it was right before my second fight, and I called out Steve-O Rusty Howard, and it was at the time Brandon Lambert was talking shit, and I said, or maybe kick over a trash can and expose the green-haired coward. So I told everybody I was going to put them on notice, and that's exactly what I've done. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep getting better, and we're chasing that. We're chasing that freedom.
Yeah, you brought up Brandon Lambert. Brandon Lambert talks shit about everybody. It's so funny. And when I say this, I hate that he talks so much shit about so much stuff, because he bullshitted his way into a bare knuckle fight. He really did. And he'll tell you now, but back then he wouldn't admit it at all. And I remember that night of his fight, or the night before his fight, he was at the weigh-ins, and he was overweight by 2.5 pounds. And he was giving himself credit for getting that close, because he made a huge weight drop. I don't remember how far down he came, but he did make a huge weight drop. And I'm one of those people, I call you on the bullshit. So I looked at him, and we're in the hotel, me and his manager, Scott Farley. And I said, what do you got to be proud of, dude? You didn't make weight. He goes, well, I got close. I said, getting close is not making weight, dude, for a guy that's supposedly a professional. Yeah. What the fuck, bro? Make weight. And he but I like the guy, he keeps his name out there, for a guy that can't fight. Everybody in BKFC knows about him. He's, he wants to fight at BYB. I don't think they're going to put him on. But fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah. I was signed to fight him, and then he pulled out. That was going to be one of my, they were still making sure that bare knuckle is what I wanted to do. And so that was a fun fight that we were building. He talked enough shit to build the fight. And I'm not going to let somebody talk shit and not fight. Fuck that. So, they were going to bring him out to Montana, and then he bailed. He pulled out last second, and,
that's what he did, because he had a few fight books booked prior to the fight that they were going to book with you. And you know, he always found a reason to pull out. I
I'm glad that he
personally,
did because I got Rusty Crowder after he pulled out. I got Rusty Crowder, who was number 2 at the time, and I said I want the number 1 contender fight. If I'm gonna take a step up in competition, like for my 3rd fight, you guys gotta make it worth it. And they honored it. And then, you know, a couple short months later, I fought Louis, and we're approaching the 1-year anniversary of my my world title, and I'm very grateful for
yeah, that's Well, let's see, you fought Louis June 9th
June
of
9th coming up.
2023. So
Yep.
we're like 6 days away from that, bro.
Yep.
And you know, then you fought Howard Davis, who is an awesome fighter. He's a great bare knuckle fighter. He really is. A lot of people picked against you.
And that means I'm
fight.
a great fighter too, because everybody
Absolutely
that about Howard, but you know, I beat his ass. You know, unfortunately, I had to beat his ass, and I proved who's the top dog here. And you know, that fight scared me, like because everybody was hyping him up. You know, it scared me for the first like month of training camp. I had a nice 2.5-month training camp, and the second I signed that paper, I go, people are about to really know who I am after this fight. This is the fight that's going to do it for me.
And it was definitely the fight that you needed to get, and to beat somebody that's given a lot of credibility in bare knuckle. You know, he's been there for a little while. And you know, when that fight came out and it was announced, I wasn't sure who was going to win. I had seen all your fights at BKFC, and I like what I saw from you. But I also, you know, I've been watching Howard Davis, and I thought his height and his reach was going to be something that you were going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with, but you proved everybody wrong.
Got him.
Got him.
But no, I no, seriously, a lot of respect to Howard. I have a lot more respect for Howard than I do Duran. I know we're going to get into Duran, but you know, Howard Davis was confident that he was going to beat me. I think Brian Duran has bit off more than he can chew. I think having confidence but also being delusional is the worst combination you can have, and that's where Brian Duran's at. You look at my schedule, you look at his schedule, and you know, he's tough. I'm not going to take his toughness away from him, but everybody wants to talk about his finishes, and I'm like, bro, you finished 3 crackheads from Great Falls. You like, get out of here. like, and I know, like, I'm sorry to those people for talking shit about him, but like, Louis had the best camp of his life for me, and he got off a crack bender to go fight Duran, and Duran struggled. Like, give me a break.
Excuse me. You know, when I sit here and I'm listening to what you're saying, you know, because Duran, like yourself, is undefeated at bare knuckle.
Yep.
I believe he's 7-0.
I don't know why everybody keeps saying 7. He's 6-0.
Well, 1, 2, 3,
unless he has something for
4,
a different
5, 6. He's got win number 1 was against Glendale Futrell. Win number 2 was against Braden Tovey. Win number 3 was against Kobe Bowen. 4 was against Gilberto Aguiar. 5 was against Dakota Highpine. 6 was against Jim Pulgar, and 7 was against Louis Lopez.
Damn, he does have 7. Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of him at all. He's gonna come at me hard as fuck in the first round, and then once I don't go down and quit like the rest of those guys, every one of his opponents has reached the 10 count. They've gotten up before the 10 count, which means that they gave up on themselves. So he's fucked. That's the bottom line here. Is he's screwed, dude.
You know, and when you got into, I'm going to go backtrack a little bit. And we'll get into the Duran fight in a minute. But when you got into this, you know, bare knuckle, and fighting overall, did you think bare knuckle was going to turn into the beast that it has become with BKFC? You know, BKFC is the world leader. Conor McGregor is now a part owner. I mean, it's fucking bonkers, man. I remember when they first started, and they just celebrated their 6-year anniversary yesterday. So happy birthday to Dave Feldman or David Feldman, Dave Feldman, and the rest of the crew at BKFC. I fucking love you guys, and thank you for reinvigorating combat sports.
Mm-hmm.
But did you think it was going to turn into this? I mean, you came in a little bit later than some of the guys that have been here from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I think I came in at 20. Actually, it was a fight night, and then I fought on 24.
Yeah, your first one was in 2021 against Derek Gates.
Yeah, Derek Gates. Yeah, that was kind of my stipulation to try bare knuckle. I was like, Derek Gates thinks that he can outbox me because I beat him in MMA and I took him down and ground and pounded him. I was like, hey, like
Yeah,
Derek,
115 in round one.
yeah. Derek Gates thinks that he can beat me in boxing, so I'll give him that respect. He didn't like how I wrestled him, and I did it at first because they were gonna pay me the amount of a puppy. I was gonna go buy a puppy after it and then go back to MMA, and I didn't get a puppy. Now I have 2 world titles, and I'm about to have my 3rd. So it was a really good business decision, and that's why I kept holding on. I kept holding on and holding on and holding on and holding on because every one of my fights until Louis Lopez was my last fight. This is my last fight. This is my last fight with BKFC. Like, this is my last one. But then it's like the more I said that, the more I would like see things on the I'm in an interview.
Mind if I use the computer for interview?
Yeah, I'm in one right now, but I'll leave. Are you in? Yeah, I mean, I'm in one. Sorry, guys, I'm in. I have to move.
Your roommate?
Yeah, I'm over here in Spokane. He let me. That's actually UFC fighter Brady Heastand.
Okay.
He let me stay over here for 3 weeks. Like by the time I leave, it'll be 3 weeks, and I crashed at his place, and super grateful, super good teammate.
So he needed to get on the computer. Is he looking at porn?
Nah, he said he had an interview. He might be. He had to shut the door. So, well, maybe.
We're just kidding, dude. We're just kidding. We just like to have a little fun here.
All right. I'm going to have to deal with this. All right.
And there's the puppy.
Yeah. He's a psycho. Sorry.
He looks a little psycho.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, where was I on that?
I don't know. You were talking about Derek Gates and, this was going to be, your thing. You went, you bought a puppy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the puppy. Yeah. So to answer your original question regarding, did I think it was going to be this beast? I did, and that's why I originally did it, because I saw it as a stepping stone for my MMA career, and I thought that it was going to skyrocket my name, but it skyrocketed my name for different reasons. I'm now like, after I knocked Duran out, I'm about to become the homegrown face of BKFC. I think, like, hats off to Palomino, hats off to Hunt, but unfortunately they've lost. Like, I give those guys all the credit in the world. They paved the way for us. They were real homegrown guys that did it. But being the youngest champion, I have the look, I have the online presence. Like, I can be the homegrown face of this organization June 21st. And that's kind of what I held on to. I did see it, but I saw it for a different reason. I thought I was just going to use it to get to where I need to be. But now I'm like bleeding black and yellow. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, and you say the homegrown face, obviously BKFC has been very smart about, who they brought in. Mike Perry is the face of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. There's no doubt about it. He is the king of violence. He's taken on a lot of big name fighters from, former UFC fighters, and he's put them all on the spot. I mean, Luke Rockhold, Eddie Alvarez. He took out MVP, who's now in the UFC. There's not a lot of homegrown, and you even said like Luis Palomino and Lorenzo, but they came from other sports as well. Luis Palomino was an excellent MMA fighter for years and years and years, so I don't consider him a homegrown BKFC fighter. However, you had your amateur career. I mean, you had a bunch of amateur fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but you never went pro with your MMA. You went to BKFC. So I would consider you a company guy. I would consider you one of the company guys that started his pro career with them and has, become a champion. And you can put that homegrown around your neck. You can get that tattoo, homegrown BKFC, if you wanted to. But it's going to be a while, I think, before we see a lot of homegrown talent, because everybody, that's there has come from boxing or from kickboxing or karate or, MMA, because
Got Duran
it
coming
made sense.
fighting in the streets. If that means
Say again?
You have Duran coming in and fighting from the streets. He said he always wanted to complain that he's a street fighter. He's fought so much in the streets, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy out there.
Yeah, and like I said, he's undefeated, so I mean you can't take him lightly. But you almost come across to me like you really don't respect what he's going to bring to you inside the squared circle.
I respect that he's going to bring a. He's dangerous because he's stupid enough to come forward the way that he comes forward, you know. So he does bring a level of dangerousness to this game. But there is a difference between him and an elite athlete, and you guys are about to see it. I mean, I haven't taken this camp lightly. I've been doing my absolute best due diligence to do everything I can possibly do. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to leave that place with a smile on my face because I know that the work has been put in. You know, the work has been put in, and you just got to be grateful for whatever happens. And I was given this opportunity to fight against Louis because I think that everybody thought that I was going to lose against Louis too, and I'm just going to keep being undeniable because the more undeniable I am, the more they got to pay me.
So you were at BKFC 56, where you beat Howard Davis. That was on the Mike Perry Alvarez card. I believe that was the card where Conor McGregor showed up. Am I correct?
No, he showed up to 41 Denver, 42. I was there. I think it was 41 Denver. Conor showed up and he fist bumped my girlfriend, which was cool, but he didn't fist bump me, so that was fucked.
And now he's your boss in a way.
And now he's my boss. So guess what? We're about to be homies. I'm about to win this fight, fly, and hopefully get to fly over to Ireland and go to the Black Forge Inn and really let him know that I'm the face of this company.
Yeah, I think heavyweight champ Mick Terrell went over to the Black Forge, and I saw some of his videos and pictures over there. It looked like he was having the time of his life.
Time of his life. I love Mick. I love Mick a lot.
Yeah, Mick's a good dude. I like Mick a lot too. And speaking of Conor, so press conference today got canceled. I know we're going outside, and again, we'll get to Duran and everything on that. But and by the way, guys, you're watching KHR with Christopher James on the Fight Bananas platform. We're live on YouTube tonight because we had some connection issues with Facebook. We'll hope to have that fixed up for Fight Bananas tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But Conor McGregor, the press conference got canceled that he was supposed to have with Michael Chandler today. And they canceled it last night. I broke the news as soon as I got the update. I broke the news quick. But UFC technically broke the news. I shared it out as soon as I got the information from UFC. And Conor, apologized today on social media saying that, it was due to serious obstacles outside of our control. What's your take on that, dude? Is there something going on behind the scenes? Because what kind of outside obstacles could cancel a press conference where they have 10,000 tickets, 10,000 ticketed people, and this was free tickets. As soon as they went on online, the tickets were free for the press conference, and it was such a hot ticket that people were taking the free ticket and selling them on secondary ticket markets. This is crazy. And when you go to a press conference, who else can draw 10,000 fucking people except Conor McGregor?
Yeah, so I just hope that the fight's still gonna and I don't want to give credit to all these little posts, little accounts that are posting some bullshit. So if it's bullshit, I don't want to but people are saying that there might be an injury on Conor's camp, and I don't want to I really hope that's not the case. I'm excited. I am excited for Conor versus Chandler. Both guys are dangerous. Chandler will come forward all chinny. Conor is a sniper. I think Conor can get it done. It gives a lot of confidence for somebody that, works for him in a way. He's one of our bosses now, and I wanted to put on a good show and then watch him put on a show. So I hope nothing serious is going on. It is a little weird. Like you said, it was a free event. It's Conor McGregor in Ireland. Who's going to give Conor McGregor in Ireland trouble? So I'm really hoping that these smaller accounts are just sharing bullshit, but you never know. Especially with Conor's past. He's coming off this injury. That's not an easy thing to do. So I really hope we get to see him fight. I really do. I'm excited. Conor McGregor's the reason I started fighting, really.
Well, there you go. I hope the fight happens as well.
Yeah. I always watch him, and after he knocked Aldo out, I kind of knew that he was going to do it. I knew that I could do what he was doing, and that was 3 years before I even took my debut. I just thought I was going to be a superstar in freestyle wrestling. I saw him do his thing, and it kind of just became a part of who I was because I was so inspired by what Connor does. So I really hope nothing bad is going on in these, and I'm hoping these little accounts are just spewing bullshit. But that's a pretty big event to be canceling last second. So we'll see.
I mean, Dana White was supposed to fly out there right after UFC 302. Michael Chandler was on his way to the airport to show up out there and ended up taking a different flight going to South Florida where he trains. And, just went back to training. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You just don't know with Conor McGregor. That's the whole thing. He operates on his own schedule. He operates in his own world. So what really happened to cause the cancellation, we might not ever find out. But speaking of a fight that's not getting canceled, let's talk about your fight. You got a championship fight coming up on June 21st. So we're about 18 days away. BKFC 62, Stewart versus Duran. So Brian Duran is coming for your belt. And
coming for his hometown. Fuck that.
Pardon me?
I'm coming for his hometown. He ain't coming for shit.
Oh, that's
like
right.
They said Jimmy Rivera's out. Who do you want to fight? You have and I said, who's the biggest name right now? And they said Duran in Miami, and I said, bingo, let's do it. That's literally how the conversation went. I said, give me whatever's gonna skyrocket my career, and that's what I want. I want to be in that fucking the Lion's Den or whatever the hell they want to call it down there.
Yeah, Miami's I agree with you 100%, man. If you're going to do this for a living, why sit there and, just take any fight, whatever, take the biggest fights, grow your name, grow your career, grow your bank account.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm great. I am grateful for the opportunity, man. This is exciting. I've gotten to really spend a lot of time on my straight boxing. Like I'm gonna crack Duran. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna get this KO bonus. I haven't had finishes with my top 5 fights, and it's time. It's time, and I'm letting it every little ounce of me go on June 21st. And I just don't think I'm an unstoppable force, man.
All right. So can you see the screen? That the comment popped up. The biggest name at 145 is Brandon Allen, according to Steven Schlosky.
Then all I have to say is, why hasn't he been offered to me? As a champion, I don't get to choose who I fight. Like I was told for the longest time it was Jimmy Rivera. That was the name. I show up to Albuquerque. They tell me no Jimmy Rivera. They say, what do you want? I was like, give me who you guys think deserves it in his hometown. And that name was Brian Duran. So you guys got to stop being delusional. Brandon Allen has 0 top 5 fights. Get that through your head. 0 top 5 fights. I think him and Howard Davis would be a phenomenal fight. Do I think Brandon Allen's a tough opponent? Absolutely. Do I think he's good? Yes. Do I think that he has what it takes to be a champion? He's got to find out in the top 5 because we got a pretty stout top 5 right now.
According to Steve, he said that Allen's the number 1 contender and you had a choice. Any truth to that?
No, absolutely 0 truth. I'm willing to bet my paycheck on it. So
wow.
If you want to put words into my mouth, fucking come at me, bro. Put your money.
There you go. So, and I guess, because we've been touching on the Duran fight all through the interview, little spots here. I don't think there's too much more to say about it, except, you guys need to tune in, get the BKFC app, and tune in to BKFC 62 Stewart versus Duran for the 145-pound championship. It's going to be a really fun fight, I think.
Fun. It's going to be a blast. As much as I'll talk shit about Duran and that he doesn't really deserve this fight, and I think he's bit off more than he can chew, I mean that. But I also do think that he has a level of being dangerous, and I think that's what makes it fun. The only reason this fight is fun is because we're doing it in bare knuckle fighting championship. Any other form of combat sport, it would be an embarrassment. But he's dangerous in bare knuckle, so I'm excited.
I'm excited for it, bro. Like I said, I really like your style. I like what you've brought. Considering that, you're a wrestler by trade, and to see you, ascend to the championship level at BKFC is truly, truly fun. It's so cool to see a wrestler thriving in a sport where you're throwing hands. There's no wrestling.
Oh, there we go. Montana wrestling, baby.
Oh, snap. I like the tat, bro. I like the tat. You got any others?
I got Believe. Got my elephants that say we got this. I got it with my sister. I got some. I got the humble team on my right here.
Nice.
THT logo, because we stay humble over here, baby.
Steve Slosky said, good luck with the fight. The number one contender awaits you.
I heard he's taking a fight another non-top 5 opponent, so I ain't waiting on shit. Jimmy Rivera is gonna get fucking knocked out after this fight.
There you go.
But, hey, I really appreciate you having me on. I've been a fan of Fight Bananas for years. I've been a follower for years, so it's pretty cool to get to come on.
Yeah, and you're my debut episode. You're my first guest. I was doing this show independently for a long time, and then I had to take a break. I had a job change and everything, and then I had some mental health issues that I had to deal with. It took me a while to feel comfortable to come back, and then Dave just reached out to me and he asked me if I wanted to bring it back and bring it to Fight Bananas. And I said, "Fuck yeah, let's go, let's go." So we have 2 minutes left with you, brother. And something.
Oh, I'm back. Somebody tried to call me. It's like my phone's on Do Not Disturb. People need to realize, don't call me. Like it's that.
Fuck them.
Just send a text and I'll get back to you.
So something we do on my show, first time guest. I do this to all my first time guests. I never warn them ahead of time. I surprise them, and we see how scared of things they really are. You're not scared of anything, are you?
I was afraid of bare knuckle for the longest time, but now I run this shit. So
there you go.
I got rid of my fears a long time ago, man.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
First time guest on the show. I always ask them to do something to take them out of their comfort zone. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
And I've done this. I've got over 300 episodes, and who knows how many guests, and nobody said no yet. I know my boy Forrest is going to be disappointed because he's watching. And he loves this part of the show. I asked my first time guest to sing something for us.
Oh, okay. Hold up. What do you want me to sing?
Whatever the fuck you want, bro.
Okay, I got this. I'm gonna make this up really, really fast. It's gonna be a quick little jingle. That's it. That's all you got.
All right, bring it.
Oh fuck, I can't. Whoa, I tried. Okay, I gotta sing something different than and I will always love you. I don't know why that came in my head. I don't know why. That's it. That's what I got.
I thought you had some lyrics that you'd already 3 diss tracks. Sang something.
Well, there's a difference between singing and rapping, and I could have
You
just
could do either one.
I could have rapped my diss track,
Rap your diss track, bro. Drop that shit.
One of them. So put them on notice. One of the best lines in there. I love the little trolls. I love being a troll, and the line went. It said, all these goat wannabes trying to cross my bridge. It behooves me to announce you'll be walking into fists. That's my favorite line. But I did get you a song on there. I actually
you dropped some Whitney Houston, bro.
After my fight, I love karaoke. I love singing, but I don't like singing on the spot. You got to have some liquid courage. Then rock some karaoke. But we're gonna have to circle back, and I'll send you a video for your page on karaoke night.
All right, cool. And after this fight, win, lose, or draw, like you said, you're gonna be good. So we'll get you back on after, and you can come back with a song for us, just for shits and giggles.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can drink. I know you're in camp right now, so you're not drinking and shit like that,
Yeah, usually I'm a big toker. I'm not much of a drinker. I'll drink on occasion. That occasion is going to be whenever I knock Durant out. But not a big drinker. Huge stoner. So
me too.
That anytime you want to have me back, just give me a text and we'll go from there, bro.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, before I let you go, man, drop all your social media so the world that isn't following you can jump on the train.
Hell yeah, guys. Well, the easiest way to follow me is my Instagram account, KaiHB145. That is KAIHB145. I'm also on Facebook, Kai Hefty Bag Stewart. YouTube, KaiHB145. Twitch, KaiHB145. Follow it because we're on a journey, man. After my last fight, I said, I'm from Montana and we're going to climb these mountains and I'm going to the top of every mountain in the fucking world, baby. So it's time for y'all to jump on the hype train because it's a real hype train and it ain't slowing down.
Well, that cloud of smoke was just for you, brother. Fucking, that's some good shit I'm smoking out right there.
I feel it. It's going through my veins now. Ah!
All right. Well, listen, brother, thank you so much for taking the time and jumping in on my first show with Fight Bananas. I appreciate it. We will definitely have you back on. You're fun to talk to, and we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about next time. We'll get a little deeper into you wanted to be a doctor and all that stuff. We just ran out of time tonight.
Hey, give me one more little shout. I have one more shout out. DL Training Systems has completely transformed who I am. Cardio, mentally, physically, I'm that guy. So thank you. Shout out DL Training Systems. If you want to hop on the real train, it's the train that is not slowing down. DL Training Systems. Let's go.
Hell yeah, boys and girls. As King Kai Stewart, the hefty bag, if you will, the 145-pound champion at BKFC, fighting upcoming bout June 21st, man. And if you guys don't have the app, get the app and watch this guy go to work. You definitely won't be disappointed. Kai, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Good luck.
Thank you, Chris. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, Kai Stewart, man, what a guy. I like that. He wants to be a doctor. We're going to talk to him. We'll get another interview with him. You know, his first time on the show, so we bounced around a little bit. I have another first-time guest lined up. I'm not going to wait any longer. He's been sitting patiently for about 6 minutes, and I had the honor of announcing this guy at a Gamebred Gamebred Fighting Championship event. I believe we were in Savannah, Georgia, and this guy walked into the weigh-ins, and I looked at him, and he was like a tank with fucking feet. He's so big. He's so thick. Like, sometimes I wonder how he can even punch because he's just so big, you know? But he fucks people up. He's 8-0. He's undefeated. He fought on the Contender Series last year. He's going back on August 20th. We're going to bring him in right now. Y'all say hello to my man, Torrez Finney.
Yes, sir. What's going on today, Chris? How you doing, baby?
Oh, I'm good, man. Good to see you again, brother. How's life going today?
It's going really good, man. Just got done training. My brother's, hey, just ready to go. Been training really well. Staying consistent. We got some time up to Contender Series fight, but yeah, just staying consistent. So yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
I'm a little under the weather today. Kind of sucks for my debut, and the Facebook link up is not working today, so that kind of sucks on the debut episode of Cage Fight with Christopher James on Fight Bananas. But we make it work anyway. You know what I'm saying? We just pop on our YouTube, and then what we're going to do is I reached out to Dave. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your interview after it's done. We're going to clip it. We're going to put it together, and we're going to share it out on all our social media. So make sure we get you as much pop as possible because we fucking love you, dude.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Happy to be on here, man. I'm really happy to be on here.
I'm happy to have you, man. I saw your last fight at Combat Night, knocking fools out, bro. What's up?
Hey, man, look. That's what some of the people been wanting from me. They've been wanting to see that. Surprisingly, I have done that before. Amateur. I've had a few quick finishes. Amateurs. Some of them on the feet, and people forget about them. They haven't seen it as a pro, and I'm always going to do what I can do to win. I'm just going to go out there and win. I understand it's a entertainment sport, what it's able to do. But again, I'm a big fan of some of the Dagestanis because they just go in there and win, and that's what I'm going to always do. You cannot deny me if I'm a winner. But again, I can do it multiple ways. So it's not just one way. I tell people I've always worked on my striking. I just didn't get in this game like, okay, I'm only going to wrestle. I've always worked on my striking, and it was an opportunity, and I just took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at your record right here. In your pro career, you're 8-0. You've only got one fight that went to decision. All your other fights are first and second round finishes, and you've done it with the KOs and the TKOs and the submissions. Ground and pound. You can do it all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel like I am an overall complete MMA fighter. I know sometimes you might get that niche of like, oh, well, he's one-dimensional. But I go to what's the best pathway to win. And regardless of what that is, I'm going to attack that going into a fight. So if I'm going into a fight, I'm going to utilize whatever the best game plan. We're big on game plans, and whatever that helps me do, I'm going to utilize that.
Where are you training at?
I train at a Go Combatives right here, and it's technically in Rossville, Georgia, but we say Chattanooga, Tennessee because we've been in Chattanooga, Tennessee for the majority. But it's in Rossville, Georgia, and this is my home gym. I do venture out a good bit. I train. Now we're an affiliate of Bang Muay Thai.
Okay.
With Wayne Lutwick, and I have a big part of my camp will be out there with him as well. Out there in Denver, mixing up with his gym and Team Elevation and a little bit of Onyx with Whitman and those boys, and then I'll probably go into Vegas and get some good rounds in Extreme Couture. So.
Yeah. What about going out there and hooking up with Sean Strickland and getting some training with him? He's a crazy dude. It'd be fun to train with, but he's gonna spar the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, I've done. Yeah, he's at Extreme Couture, and he does. I mean, my goodness, is all he does is spar. There's not much stuff that he doesn't do that's not live. It's live drilling, it's live sparring, everything's just about live with him. But those rounds are really good, man. You learn a lot from those rounds. He pushes you. I mean, the man doesn't get tired, and you really see where you are. I mean, he's the number one ranked middleweight in the world. Obviously got the champion, but he's ranked number one in the division, and hey, since he's right there, that's who you measure yourself up against. And he just won a big fight this past weekend against Paulo Costa. So, yeah, I always love getting rounds in with Sean Strickland.
Yeah, Paulo Costa got just walked backwards the whole friggin' fight. I don't know how he made it through the whole fight. He just going backwards the whole time on his bike. It was crazy to watch.
That's how you gas out, man. People don't understand. Coaches, people talk about all the time. Go run a mile forward. Okay, boom, you'll be all right. But not try to do it backwards. You'll about pass out after the second lap because it's so much harder. Your body's not accustomed to moving that way. So that's why guys that are big on pressure, constant activity, standing in your face, putting you on your back foot, it fatigues the body. It makes you use a lot more energy than you usually would, than what you would do when you're walking forward. So great game plan by Sean Strickland, and that's big on his style.
Yeah, and it's crazy to watch him because, he's throwing teep kicks and he's just, he's using that teep kick like a jab, and he just throws them and throws them and throws them, and he makes you uncomfortable. He puts you in positions where you can't do anything, and look what he did to Izzy.
I know. I mean, look, he kept Izzy on his back foot, kept constant pressure. And Izzy is more of a counter striker, but it's different when it's hard to counter strike when somebody's always in your face, keeping something active. Like you're trying to time and counting as a counter striker. He's not. Sean Strickland is going to make it hard for you to time anything because for one, he don't get hit much and he stays there in your face. He's just always throwing something. So something's going to land. I mean, you saw Izzy's face. It was beat up. You saw Drinker's face was beat up. You saw Costa. He people want to talk about Sean don't have power. He's touching you the whole time. No 4-ounce gloves, they hurt. He's touching you the whole time, and you're barely getting anything clean on him. So I just don't, man. I mean, that's a hard style to fight. It is. It's a really hard style to fight.
I wouldn't want to fight that style. I'd rather have a guy that wants to come at me and bang.
Yeah, you would. You want somebody to come 100% at you, or either they're on their back foot trying to counter strike, but the guy that just stays in your face pressure and he's not looking for the knockout shot, he's coasting about at 70-80%. Constant activity in your face, making you always have to react. Every time you react, boom, that's an energy deposition that you're losing. Your efficiency goes down while he stays up. Sean does this every day. He's basically sparring inside the cage. Y'all, you don't understand. He is what we just saw. I knew it when I saw it's 5 rounds, and Paulo Costa was the one that asked for 5 rounds. I was like, oh, you asking for a loss. I see this man spar so many times. He can do that all day. I seen him do it for 8 rounds before. He can do it all day long and still don't be tired.
He didn't look like he was tired after this fight. It looked like he barely even started to sweat, and Costa was drenched.
Yes, that's the thing. And in between rounds, Sean Strickland was standing up on his feet. Yep. Sean Strickland would even sit down on the stool, and then he would come to the middle when it was like 30 seconds left in the minute. Like he don't waste any energy with his style, and he's done it for so long. It's not going to make him tired. So.
No, it's crazy to watch him go to work, and I'm a big fan of Sean. Have been for a long time. Even when he was a little bit on the lighter side of the weight class. Mm-hmm. He's just a fun guy, but his personality I love. I love that he just speaks his mind. You know, some of the stuff he says, yes, outlandish. But in this day and age, you know, he's making a mark.
He is.
Yeah, and my boy Steven watching the show, he just wanted to give you props for your great knowledge right there and great feints, kill the opponent's reaction and cardio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is huge. And that's a little bit like, I don't fight like Strickland, but the concept of Strickland is essentially the same. I just utilize more grappling with it. Constant activity, staying in guys' faces, keeping them on their back foot, but I'm utilizing more wrestling with it. But again, it's efficiency. People think, it's funny, people see my size and they're like, oh, Finney's going gas. You know, he's a big muscled guy. He's going to tire out. But I can keep that pace on for multiple rounds because, like, we work a lot out of it. And, you know, I want to thank one of my guys. They helped me out a lot, Peak Kinetic Performance with Gannon Hampton and John Hampton, because what they do is we work on a lot of the energy systems to help for, that is precisely for MMA. So we focus mainly on just that. And while focusing only on that, it helps me learn which ways I'm exploding. All right, then I need to learn how to conserve. Then I'm exploding, then I conserve. And then it's long timing of explosion. Like we're doing hardcore for a whole minute. All right. But you're shortening up your rest. You might only get 10 or 20 seconds. Then you get back up into it. Then you're shortening up for 10 or 20 seconds. Like, it's so many different ways on like how you utilize your energy systems. And then when you actually go out there like competing, you make it efficient enough to like, oh man, I'm feeling good. And that's my style, man. And very similar to the concept, the same, but I definitely understand.
You know, and you mentioned that people bring up your size, your muscle guy and all that stuff. What are you? You're 5'8", I think, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 5'8", and you're fighting at 185, bro.
Yeah, 185.
That's fucking bonkers, dude. I mean, you should be fighting at like 155. I don't think you can get there unless you actually cut off an arm, maybe a leg.
Get there, man.
Can you get to 170?
Man, that's hard. That would be really hard for me, man. I don't even do. It's still surprising me that I make 185. So like, people got to remember, I'm a football player.
Right.
I wrestled 1 year in college. And I grew up wrestling, but I played football longer growing. I played football ever since I was 4, and I started wrestling when I was in 7th grade. So right. I've been doing essentially both for the majority of my life. But I've been primarily a football player. So when I went to college, I got all the way up to 250. I was playing college. I was playing fullback. I was all conference at UTC. Blessed to have some solid years there. And then, I had a few injuries here and there, but I got up to 250. Jesus. So I lost a little bit of my weight around senior year. I got about 235. I tried to lose a little bit of weight, be a lot more agile. And then I started fighting, and then, my first ever fight as an amateur, I fought at 215. I actually had to make a little small adjustment, like more of dieting and a lot of training. I was playing football, and I was coming to MMA practice, and, I actually had a fight the same day we had a scrimmage, and I played in the 60 plays in the scrimmage. The coaches didn't know. Some of the players did, but the coaches didn't know, and coach made us run 12 100-yard sprints after practice, so because he got mad how we ended practice, but I left there and went straight to the fight, and I was blessed to go out there and get the finish KO in 11 seconds. But I was always a bigger guy. So and I know there's been guys that made that cut. That means outside of camp, I will have to like diet. And that's the like little bit of the hard part, man. I'm a Southern boy. I'm in the South. I'm comfortable at 185. So I know a lot of people want to look at height and size and all this. I've been going against big guys my whole life.
Of course.
Like when I see these guys, they're like 6'2" or 6'3", and I'm like, that don't mean, dude, I went against guys 6'7", 6'6". We don't play Alabama. We play LSU. We played Tennessee. We played all those big schools. I know what big boys look. Heck, my former teammate Cole Strange got drafted first round by the New England Patriots. We used to go in and practice all the time. He's 6 foot. He's 6'5", 315 pounds. I'm not worried about size. Because growing up, I always was a smaller guy. In football, I used to play nose guard. I was always a short guy, but I was quick off the ball. I led the state of Georgia in sacks. I was 1 sack away from breaking the Georgia state record.
Holy shit.
I won Defensive Player of the Year for the state. I was first team all state back-to-back years. So it was funny. When I won the Defensive Player of the Year, Kirby Smart came and spoke at the luncheon for the award ceremony. And, he had a lot of the guys, some of the, a good bit of the guys that was there, obviously was going to University of Georgia. And then, when they made the announcement of who's winning Defensive Player of the Year, my little short self walking up there and I'm getting the award. It's like, wait a minute, none of my guys winning it. He is, it just the way he was like looking at me. He didn't say that, but I'm just saying. But It was funny. Like, I've always been the shorter guy. So I tell people, I like to go against guys that are tall. Give me the tall guy. When I used to wrestle, I didn't like the short guys. If you were like shorter than me or around my height, I really didn't like to wrestle you. I wanted the 6'4", the 6'3", 6'2", because they have to do that much more work. I'm already low. When I change my level, you got to work even harder. And because of my size and compact, I was stronger than all of them. So I never worried about the skinny guys. You can be long all you want. When people look at height, they say, oh, that's big. That's height. He's tall. They don't mean he's big. He's tall. So there's a difference. And now you got some guys that got both. Like, I feel like Sean Strickland is big. He's like 6'2", 6'3", but he's solid. Got some weight on him. So that's big to me. But most of these guys, man, I don't worry about height or nothing, especially in this weight class. That doesn't faze me in the slightest. I want you to be tall. If you're 6'1", 6 foot and above, I'm not worried about that as being a small problem at all. I actually will look forward to that.
And I just put up a comment on here, regarding your high fight IQ. Here you are, 25 years old, and you're 8 fights into your pro career. You're going for your second fight on Dana White's Contender Series, but you speak like a 25-year veteran. And the folks at Fight Bananas here, who are my people I work with now, if you see it on the screen, it says Finney equals star.
Thank you.
I was so pissed off last year when you didn't get on to the UFC. You won your fight convincingly, as far as I'm concerned. And they didn't give you a contract. They wanted you to go back out and work. And then you get a guy like Bo Nickel. He's in your weight class. Highly heralded college wrestler. And he made his debut fight with us at Island Fights, his first amateur fight. And I had the honor of announcing him, which was pretty cool, looking at where he is now. I love being able to say, I knew them when, and you're going to be one of those guys for me as well. I knew you when you were on your ascension. But you put in a lot of work for that fight last year. You got the win. How disappointed were you really when you left that night?
So this is a great thing, probably because so many years of having to always be the underdog. What Dana said to me was nothing any different than what I've heard before. Essentially, when he told me, I would like for you to go in there and get more fights, get some more experience. We'll see you down the line. Okay. I seen there was guys behind me. I'm not going to call names, but there was some guys there on the show that season, lost 30-26, 30-27, still got a contract. Yeah. There was guys that he said, this is the most boring fight I've ever seen in my life. Still got a contract. There was guys on that same show with me, 2 guys that got a decision. Everybody on that show that won got a contract, except for me. There was 2 guys on that show that had a decision, still got a contract. And I had looked at a statistic that said 90% of fighters that go on that show and get a finish wins, let alone getting a finish in the second round. He always talks about, how he likes people overcoming adversity and dealing with it. And I felt like, I didn't have the best first round, but I came out that second round and I felt like it was almost flawless.
It was.
And I felt like, okay, I felt like I had did enough. And yes, I understood what some of the things that I know he saw that he thought that I need to continue to improve on. But, I see some of the guys that's in there right now, man, and I'm like, I feel I can beat these guys now for sure. But I was mad for about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. And then after that, I said, I won the fight. And I always grew up. I come from the sports of you win, you continue. You win, that's all that matters is the win. I won the fight, let alone and not only did I win the fight, I finished the fight. And growing up, when you always been told you're too short, you're not big enough, then you prove them wrong. And then now, later on, I'm like, oh man, we loved you and things like that nature. I go to UTC. I walked on to UTC. Didn't get a scholarship early. That too short, not big enough. I don't know. Then I earned a scholarship. I've always had to deal with that ever since I was at a young age. Always been told no on the initial. I never was the 5-star athlete that got it day one. I was never the favorite, as they say, that always got it, on their first try sometimes. I would have the skill set and the ability to do it, but I always had to deal with some, shutback because, hey, man, he's not big enough, or he's not as quick, or he ain't got this size or that size. He ain't got this intangible. And I never, ever worried about that. I never worried about that because I stayed focused. I said, if I continue to keep working, if I keep winning, you can't deny me. And I've already said, I'm going to call it undeniable, meaning I'm going to be undeniable in the eyes of Dana. Undeniable, where you can't deny me. Whoever you put in front of me, I'm going to continue to be. And that's the way I want to continue to keep doing this. And I'm blessed and I'm thankful they gave me another opportunity. I went out there, showed off the skill set I know what they was looking forward to for me to show off. I did it to show like, hey, I always had this. But, you don't know. And again, I got another opportunity and I have to make the best of it. And I'm thankful and blessed that I have this opportunity. And I'm just going to keep working. This is just another step. I always, when I go and speak it to kids or when I go and speak to schools, always talking about overcoming adversity. And this is a time for me to show, all right, you talk about it. All right, let me see you do it. And I've done it a lot in my life. I mean, like I just said, explain, I've done it growing up all my life. But now it's another opportunity for me to show, hey, overcome adversity once again. They denied you the first time. What you going to do the second time? And I'm going to prove once again that where I belong. I always just say I'm trying to prove people wrong, but I stopped saying that. I'm going to continue to prove myself right. And that's the way I live now. I'm going to continue to prove myself right. I'm proving myself. I want to go out there and accomplish it for me to prove that I knew exactly what I know I can do, instead of trying to prove to somebody else on what they think I can do. Let me prove to myself what I know I can do, and I'm going to show you and to let the results fall for itself. I can only control what I can control. If I would have had a better first round, I probably would have had the contract. All right, got to do better on that next time. There were small things that I know I need to work on. So if I control what I can control, then I let them do whatever they want on the after fact. But as long as I can control what I control, which is me going in there and accomplishing and fighting, then everything else, I don't worry about. I'll let it speak for itself.
I love you, dude. I just love you. My boy Steve said, he's impressed with your attitude, your IQ, your drive. He's a fan and he'll be following and pulling for you. But you know what? There's another part of this game that's very important. And that's being able to do things like this, do interviews and be able to speak intelligently about what you're doing, and showing the people that you understand. And like, this has been one of my favorite. I've interviewed so many motherfuckers. It's crazy. And, I love when I don't have to ask you anything. I could just drop a little bit of a question and I could just sit back and fucking go, all right, I can scratch my ass if it itches. I can do whatever the fuck I want because you're carrying the show right now. Jessica Borgia, she's watching. She's a MMA fighter and a bare knuckle fighter, and she's just so much respect for you right now. She's waiting for my next guest because I know she's going to have some stuff to say when Christine Ferea comes on from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So the one thing I don't know, because I lost my notes on it. Excuse me. Who are you fighting on August 20th?
I'm fighting a guy named Cameron Royston.
Okay, Cameron, I know who he is.
Yeah, Cameron. He trains out of City Kickboxing down in Australia. With Izzy Adesanya, Carlos Urberg, all those boys. He was initially on the Contender Series last year, but he pulled out for some reason, and then he also pulled out of his last fight this year in April. So he hasn't fought in 2 years. He hasn't fought since September. So, but I'm excited for the matchup. I'm ready to go in there and face off against him, man, and a lot of respect to him. I'm excited. I'm
excited for your fight. Like you said, I don't care who they put in front of you. I just want to see you fight, dude. You perform so well. You have the ground game. Your striking is coming along really well. you're 8-0, so there's still some rawness to you. That that's not going to change until you get more fights. I mean, that's just the way this game works. No matter how much you train, no matter how much you work in the gym, no matter how much studying you do, the only way to get rid of that, those little raw spots, is to continue to have actual fights. So I'm excited to see you do this. I believe you're 100% going to go out there and get a contract this time. Make yourself undeniable, as you said. We'll have to hashtag that out to make sure that people, start pushing that out there. Off subject of MMA, big Dallas Mavericks fan, huh?
Yes, sir. Love the Mavericks, man. Look, growing up, I was a big Dirk Nowitzki fan. I used to play
love Dirk. Dirk's a man.
I love Dirk, man.
I didn't like when he was playing against I'm a Heat fan. So he gave us some fucking rough nights, fucking
he
bastard.
He did, man.
I hate him as much as I hate Tom Brady because I'm a Jets fan.
But then you've had a lot of rough nights, then, with Tom Brady. Oh, Lordy. No, you're good. You're good. I understand. Well, sometimes, look, that weather changing randomly out of nowhere, it can surely do that.
Who's your football team?
I'm a Steelers fan. Growing up, I was big into defense.
So you're all over the country. You got the Mavericks in basketball. You got the Steelers in football. What about baseball?
Baseball, Braves. That's the hometown.
That's Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. Yeah. So, I like that's like literally around my area. Pittsburgh, the Mavericks, the Braves. And with the Mavs, I mean, like I said, I was a Dirk fan. I used to play basketball. I'm short, but I used to try to do the fadeaway like Dirk. And then football, I was big on defense, man. I was a big James Harrison, Palomalu fan.
Love Palomalu.
Oh, my gosh, he was one of my favorites, man.
What a fucking beast on the football field.
Yes, Lamar Woodley, James Ferrier, those defenses. I was growing up, and I watched those games, man. I would be like, and I used to see, people might call me crazy, but now with these scores are like 42, 45, or nothing against them. I know it's entertaining, but I like the 13-9 defense when the Ravens and the Steelers used to play.
Yeah,
and they just knocking each other head. That was entertaining. On the score, be like every possession mattered. So when one went down to get the field goal, all right, that's big. I used to enjoy it. That's the type of football I enjoy. But I know a lot of people would like to see offense. It's offense heavy now.
Football became too woke.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
That's all we have to say about that, because I don't mind seeing a high scoring game. I don't. I like watching the offenses be able to get off, but there's just something about, it's like basketball too. Old school defensive basketball, fucking, it's gone. And these guys today are all a bunch of fucking wuss.
Yep.
They whine and they complain about this. Oh my God, I'm fucking.
And they throwing the bodies all over the place. I'm like, come on, bro, come on. He ain't hit you that hard. Like, come on, man. Flagrant. I'm like, stop this, man. Like, now, a top-tier defensive team is like a team that holds a team to 101, 105 points. Oh,
yeah,
that's
crazy.
And I'm like, man, teams you get held to like under 80. That was defense.
That's why I like my football team. My Jets have a stellar defense.
They do.
So, and it's only going to be better this year. I don't know if we're going to win anything. Oh, damn, win the lights. Now you're all like,
no, I know,
what happened?
My TV was a little bit of a light right here, so yeah, I was trying to make it show the good lighting here, but yeah, I don't know what happened.
I love it. You watched UFC 302 over the weekend?
Yes, sir, I did, man. Really, really good. Well, I wouldn't say really good card, but
it wasn't a really good card. I know you're on your way into the company and you don't want to say anything bad, but it was a kind of a lackluster card. Not a lot of finishes. Some terrible referee calls. I mean, the guy that called it 49-46 for fucking Costa, and then 30 or 29-28 for Mitch Raposo in the first fight of the night. Same judge on both of those cards. I don't know if he was like, betting on split decisions or what the fuck he had going on, but he made sure to fucking get his name out there. But God,
that was bad. There's no way you watched that Paulo Costa Sean Strickland fight and said, "Oh yeah, Costa won 4 rounds."
Costa didn't win any round, and one of the judges gave him a round. One of the other 2 judges gave him a round, but it gave 49-46 to Strickland. And then Chris Lee gave it 50-45, which is my score, 50-45.
That's how I had
it. Clear as day. Wow. thank God that the other two judges had enough sense of what they were looking at, because it only takes one idiot to fuck up your career.
I know, man, and that's the thing. Can't leave it to the judges. But with Sean Style, he's he's a decision guy.
Yeah.
So it had like the Cannonier fight. I didn't think he lost that fight. I thought he won that fight. And then the Drinkers fight. The Drinker was close. It was. I think some of those takedowns, but again, as much as I'm a wrestler guy, you have to do something with the takedowns.
Absolutely.
There's only so much of you just getting the takedowns and not doing it. Like, it makes it, you have to ask yourself the question, okay, if I get the takedown, okay, do I have to also, with the ground and pound, like, what am I doing with this? If I'm not doing it in ground and pound, is control time weighed that heavy? Which I think it should be in a little bit of a sense, because if the guy can't get up, he's losing. But then again, if the guy gets up and he's landing every time he's on you, technically they say damage. But if you actually look at the unified rules, because I'm big into rules, it says effective striking / effective grappling. So that is a broad statement when you look at the rule sets. So
Right.
What is necessarily effective? How is effective striking and grappling both equal? Where do you deem one over the other in a certain situation?
Absolutely.
So that's why you're leaving too much wiggle room and gray area for these judges, because they're like, well, this is what I deem effective. And the other one, like, well, I think there's no actual, that's the criteria, but there's no actual set guideline. There's not stapled around. So we don't know,
That's why, and that's why, you gotta, the saying goes, don't leave it to the judges, because you don't know what each judge is going to interpret as, winning a fight or not winning a fight. It's the same thing with referees. A lot of people think Herb Dean is the greatest referee in the world. I'm not a big fan of Herb Dean.
Herzog.
Who?
Herzog, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog is one of the best referees out there. Blake Grice is a phenomenal referee. Some guys aren't a fan of Mark Goddard. I like Mark Goddard. I think he does a good job. And when I say this, every referee is going to have an off night. Every referee is going to make a mistake. They're all fucking human. It's a tough job to do. So I just, I've watched Herb Dean for a long time. Herb Dean is the most famous referee. I'll give him that. Most well known, but he's not the best out there. He's just not. There's other guys that do the job more efficiently, more better, and you hear less controversy associated when they're in the cage. So, like Mike Beltran. Mike Beltran, fucking phenomenal referee.
He was my referee for the contenders. I loved him.
Yep, I know. He's such a good referee. He knows what he's looking at, and he lets the fights go the way they're supposed to go. I'm tired of referees. Big thing, peeve of mine, is referees standing up fights. Your job is to protect the fighter, not to dictate how they fight. And when a referee stands you up while you're working on the ground, sometimes you're there for a minute. Sometimes you are catching your breath, but fuck it, that's part of it. It's called mixed martial arts. It's not called stand-up fighting only. So it pisses me off when a guy like you, who's a wrestler by trade, if you're working on somebody and they have good defense, it's going to take you a minute to get to that spot that you're trying to get to. But the referee will stand you up like he did it the other night. He bullshit stand up. I don't remember which fight it was, but he stood
up. Cesar Almeida.
Yeah. See, you did watch the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a bullshit stand up, man. I was like really pissed.
Only for him to take him right back down. Yeah. I mean, like I say, we always talk about, well, these guys grapplers need to do something when they take them down. They need to move. Yes, that's true. I do agree, and I don't disagree with that. But
me neither.
That's a skill disparity, because the guy on bottom needs to do what? He needs to learn how to get up. He needs to learn how to utilize his guard. He needs to learn how to utilize underhooks to stand by. I'm gonna take if again, we say MMA is the closest thing in a fight to a street fight, as most people would say.
Right.
If this happened in the street and you couldn't get up, and me and you one-on-one, we're in the dark alley, and there ain't nobody around us, are you gonna get up? No. So if you can't get up, I can do whatever I want.
That's it, man. If I'm strong enough to get the position on you and you can't get me off you, which is your fucking job when I get on top of you, then then fuck you. I'm staying here. I'm gonna fucking, you know, shove my shoulder up under your chin, just fuck with you and put pressure on you. Throw a punch here and there to your body, but I'm just gonna hold you down. If I'm capable of doing that and you can't get up, that's on you. And the referee saves too many guys.
They do.
From that. And that's not the saving you're supposed to be doing as a referee. You're supposed to save me like the arm bar that fucking Kevin Holland got. I understand Herb's thought on that because he was the ref for that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I understand where he was coming from. I still think he should have let the fight continue because that guy on the ground was still fucking fighting. He was still in the fight.
He was. Now, do you think it was an initial tap? I think it was like almost a.
I don't think it was a tap at all. He was trying to fucking just get his position, and he had to fucking throw that hand over. And of course, it looks like he's tapped because he's reaching, but I don't think there was no tap there. That guy right there, that guy, I think you could have broke his arm, and he would just fucking beat you with his fucking broken arm.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
A lot like that was a little different. Jamal Hill when he went against Craig, I believe. Oh yeah, like when he had him in that triangle and he broke his arm, he was just elbowing him. You know, not Jamal never stopped fighting and Jamal never tapped, but he was defenseless. You know, so I can understand that. But if Jamal kept trying to fight, I know his arm is literally wiggling off his freaking, you know, all over the place. But hey, he wants to fight. You know, we remember T.J. Dillashaw against Aljamain Sterling.
Yep.
Everybody knew everybody that was watching, everybody knew TJ's shoulder was going. Referees could have stepped in, but he wanted to keep fighting. So heck, he could have threw a lucky left hook and boom, there you go. Now, you know, you never know what happened. It's fighting, man. So you let these guys fight. I agree.
Let them fight. So what was your favorite moment from that fight card?
Favorite moment. That's a little tough, man. I'm gonna say this. I would say probably when Islam was able to strike a little bit with Dustin on the feet. You know, a lot of people kept saying if it stood only on the feet, he can't do it. Now, again, he utilized the essence of MMA. So what he did, first round, he threw like a combination and then took him down in that first round and held him down for the whole round. Got his arms tired. You lose a little bit popping your punches. So guess what he did for the remainder of the fight? Dustin was obviously still boxing, but Dustin, as that fight was progressing, you saw Dustin got a little bit more lethargic. It was a little bit more labored because his arms were fatigued from all that grappling. That's what Islam was able to utilize some of his mixing it up a little bit. And he was looking good on the feet. Not saying because Islam's striking is really good, but he was using it on the feet, connecting Dustin more times, I would say, than I probably ever seen Dustin really get hit in a fight. You know, and he was landing really clean shots, but that was because, like, man, the arms are tired for Dustin. The punch is a little bit swaying. Dustin was landing some good shots on Islam, but Islam was really catching him a lot on that feet, and I feel like that's showing the entire game of mixed martial arts, utilizing one martial art to help your other martial art become even more effective. And I really enjoy watching that from Islam. That's true martial arts right there, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I have the opinion that I think he's better than Khabib. I think as an overall mixed martial artist, Khabib may be a little bit better on the ground, but as an overall mixed martial artist, Islam is better than Khabib in my book, because he's willing to stand and bang, and he showed that. Against Dustin, a lot of people were just expecting, that especially in that first round, he got the back, he had Dustin in trouble, and everybody expected that was going to be the whole fight. And I have a lot more respect for Islam, first of all, for finally defending against an actual lightweight instead of, two defense against a featherweight. And for the willingness and taking the risk to work in that guy's world. Yeah.
And well, I would say, yes, I can see. I would say Islam is a lot more complete than Khabib.
Absolutely.
But I would still have Khabib a little bit above him. I would have Khabib above him because of they're both really good on the ground. But I think because of how dominant Khabib was on the ground, it edges him a little bit that much more compared to the overall essence of being on the feet for Islam. Because Khabib, again, as I just talked about, he utilizes wrestling to make Dustin a lot more tired so he can strike with him. Khabib actually did that same thing to Conor. That would have allowed him to strike in that third round. You know, Conor arms were tired, and Khabib was striking a lot more with Conor. He even slapped Conor. Now, granted, it's not Conor the same, but he was going on the feet with Conor. Now, there were certain guys that Khabib was like, "Hey, man, I ain't about to strike with this guy like Gaethje. Like, I ain't about to risk it." Like, Gaethje got pop in his hand, he kicks hard, so he took Gaethje down. But he was so dominant. Like, there was time when you see him take guys down, you was like, "Well, this round's over. He's never getting up." That's how it was. And Islam, some guys are able to counter and do some things on him, but it's not. I think he's that much more dominant. But I do agree with you. He is the better all-around fighter. But guys are also getting better now. You know, you got to remember the Russian game plan has been out there for a good little minute, especially when Khabib got in the game. So if you fought Khabib, then you know you're going to be fighting a guy very similar to him, which is like Islam. So guys are already preparing for Islam. So Khabib came in when not a lot of guys were prepared for that style. Now Islam is fighting these guys like a Dustin. Dustin don't fought Khabib, and then he fought Oliveira. Oliveira obviously ain't got the same style, but still, he'll fought a very heavy grappler. He's like, okay, I know what I need to do to get ready. This is my third time against a heavy grappler. So that's why he looked a lot better. You're not going to continue to keep making those same mistakes over and over again. You know, like, all right, you're going to find a way. He's a high-level fighter. He's going to make those adjustments. And Islam is catching these guys now after they don't seen the Habibs, after they don't seen all these guys. Like, I think the Arman Tsarukyan fight, that's going to be a much harder fight for him. Like, compared to the first time. That's going to be a hard fight. And they both grapple heavy. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be fun to watch.
That's a fight, you know. And Dana White said at the press conference following the event that's the fight he wants to make. You know, of course, Islam, you know, said in the octagon he wants to go to 170 and challenge for the title up there, which, you know, I don't have a problem with for the most part, but I want to see him defend again against somebody else in the lightweight division. You know, Arman, and this fight was supposed to be Arman's fight, you know, instead of Dustin's. He got offered the fight the night he won. They said, it's yours if you want it. And he decided to take a break and not, you know, go right back into camp. And I respect that, man. Going, you know, straight from camp to camp can be difficult. But it was his fight. So he's the number one contender. He's next. I think after that fight, if Islam, you know, wins and wants to go to 170, you let him. Let him go. You know, let him try to get the champ status. Because
he's already beaten Oliveira. Obviously, he just beat Dustin. I know you still got Gaethje there. Gaethje's able to get one more before that fight. And who else at lightweight?
Yeah, but Gaethje don't deserve a title fight. He just got beat up by Max Holloway. I mean, you know, Max knocked him out at the end of the fight, but Max won that fight from pillar to post the whole way through.
So dominant. Like, that's the thing with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm an outlier, but I felt like, you know, people kept talking about that. It's one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. I don't know. For me, I don't know about that. Like, it was a great moment, but like, Holloway had that in the bag.
How do they call a one-sided fight a great fight? That's always been a pet peeve of mine as well.
Me too, yeah.
Fights that win fight of the night, sometimes you go, well, one guy had a fucking killer performance for 5 rounds, and this other guy got beat up for 5 rounds. And while it was entertaining to watch to some degree, it was a one-sided fight. You know, how does a 50-45 get a fight of the night bonus?
Look, that's happened. Look, my teammate Trevor Peake had fought Chepe Mariscal in Jacksonville. Everybody thought that's fight of the night, and it should have been. They gave the fight of the night to Topuria and granted, and the main event. I understand. But Topuria 50-44 to him on 2 judges' scorecards. How is that? And anybody remember the Topuria Emmett fight? Yep. It was an absolute beatdown. Because I don't know how that's fight of the night. That's performance. No, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, a one-sided fight, just because the guy's tough and can take the punches, it's hard for me to see that fight of the night. I just don't understand how that can. I don't know. I never agreed with that one either.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, on UFC 302, Basil Hafez and Mickey Gall. What the fuck? Where did that Mickey Gall come from?
Yeah, you're right.
but you know, the guys sometimes I feel bad. You know, the guys at the top of the card, you know, Dustin and Islam got fight of the night. But those guys are making big money. And then you got guys down the lower end of the card, Hafez and Mickey Gall. Definitely
Make it
fight
20
of the
and 20.
night that was a fight of the night worthy performance.
It was. It was. When you're making 20 and 20, you would love an extra 50,000 on top of the 40. So, like, help the brothers out a little bit.
Oh, I love that shit, man. I love fights. Obviously, I love fights. I love watching fights. I love calling fights. I love ring announcing fights. I love talking to fighters. But there's some stuff about this sport, man, that just pisses me the fuck off, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like Islam is ranked number 1 pound for pound. John Jones is number 1 pound for pound from where I'm sitting. Because he's done it in multiple divisions, and Islam hasn't done it yet because he hasn't had the opportunity to. And yeah, he's been more active, but John Jones was injured. John Jones was building himself into a heavyweight. John Jones grew up to a heavyweight the right way instead of just saying, all right, I'll just, won't cut weight and I'll be a heavyweight. No. He did it the right way. He reshaped his body, reshaped the way he trains. So for me, and maybe I'm old school in that, and maybe it's because of that era is coming to an end. But John Jones is number 1. Makhachev is number 2. And if Jones retires after the next fight in November against Stipe, then Makhachev would be number 1 pound for pound current fighter because I don't think the welterweight guys can beat him.
No. I don't know if Leon. I don't know, man. Leon has gotten better. It'll be a competitive fight. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. I don't know how that fight would go, but y'all might call me crazy. I wouldn't sleep on Belal Muhammad.
I'm not.
I wouldn't sleep on him. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think that's a good matchup for him. I think that's a good matchup. If he can play Absolutely. It right, very possible he can win that. Whether it's probably going to be by decision, but he very much can win that by decision.
Hey, so. that's why they booked the fights, and I was kind of pissed that he didn't get a shot at UFC 300. I felt that Leon and Belal should have fought there, but the UFC had other plans, and we weren't sure that Belal was going to get his opportunity, but he did get it, and I'm glad, and I hope he goes out there and I hope he wins. Just because he's been fucking disrespected by so many for so long. I want to see him win. I want to see him do it in Leon's backyard.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Champion of the world. Yeah, same way Charles Strickland did it. Nobody gave him a chance. Everybody called him, was clowning on him the same way they were doing Belal. Let's do it, man. I would love to see it happen. I
would too. So, for you, who's the dream? And I'm sure the title fight would be the dream fight. But right now, if you get the UFC contract and they said you could pick anybody you want outside of the champion, who you gunning for?
It's a fight that I feel like a lot of people keep asking. They brew it a good bit, but Bo Nickel.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I really love that matchup. I would like to fight him. That is one fight that I feel like down the line, one day we'll meet. I really do. And I'm ready for that.
So you think that's a fight that you can make happen?
Hey, they give it to me. Hey, I'll take the call quick. Look, a brother is always preparing. You give me a full fight camp. I feel like I have the team, I have the coaches, we have the resources to set that up.
Right.
Hey man, I saw. Look, and he's going to continue to keep getting better. I'm actually, I'm a little bit of a fan of. I like Bo, but I have watched a good bit of him. Actually, when he gets a little bit pushed back, granted he ain't been much, but I saw that Cody Brundage. I saw a little bit of that Jamie Pickett as well. I look for the little bit. People might see dominant wins, which they are, but I found the flaws within the dominant wins, and
that's what you're supposed to do as a fighter. You're supposed to evaluate what's going on in front of you.
I'm a big film watcher, man. It comes from the football player in me. I watch so much. I watch so much film, and I really do believe that Bo is gonna. I think I can beat him. I really do. I really do believe that I can beat him. Yes.
Yeah, he's still so young in this game. He didn't really have a long amateur career. He had a couple of amateur fights and he turned pro. Phenomenal phenomenal collegiate wrestler. One
Yes.
of the best I've ever seen. And I was, like I said, I was excited to announce his first fight, as a ring announcer. But man, I just, his career trajectory right now is crazy.
It is crazy. It is. Like, he's skyrocketing. But that's what people don't understand. It's like, see, that's what, even with me, I wanted more amateur fights. I was only amateur for like 8 months. I wanted more amateur fights, but the problem was I couldn't get them because guys would want to fight me. They would see my background and they see how I was finishing guys fast, amateur. They didn't want to fight me. So I had to turn pro. So, I turned pro when I was around 22, then about 23. So yeah, I made it in Contender Series in the span of a year and a half, after only being a pro for a year and a half. So in the span of 3 years of fighting all the MMA, I was already in Contender Series. So like, this is going on to my 4th year this year. And, I'm getting another opportunity. So like, a lot of the stuff that people fight for multiple years, I'm getting very quickly. So my coaches talk about this. It's like, you are moving pretty fast. So, and that's why I'm a full-time fighter. I train full-time. I train every day, morning, all the way to night. And like, this is all I do. So I feel like that's the reason why my skill set has matched a little bit with the years, but I understand there's a lot of things that I have to continue to work on. And I feel that's the same situation for Bo Nickel as well.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, where your careers are at, you guys are pretty much equal.
Yeah.
Fight time, fight experience. I mean, you've got a few more pro fights than he does. He's just gotten, he got skyrocketed to the UFC. It's crazy.
He did.
But that, his Penn State, wrestling brought him here, and his ability to adjust has kept him here. And he's going to continually evolve and get better, and just like you, I mean, you're 25 years old, and you already sound like you're a 20-year pro, like I said earlier. I think the sky's the limit for you, and the only thing that stops, Torrez Finney would be Torrez Finney.
Yes, sir. You're right about that, and that's why I try my best to stay focused. I'm blessed, and I thank the Lord for allowing me to continue to stay 100% within this, and He keeps me upright, keeps me healthy, and like I just stay focused, man. And that just comes from the background of me and my family. I have a competitive family, man. We are always gunning at each other, trying to be the best, and that's rubbed off on me growing up, and I keep that going right now to this day. So. Push-up contest, trouble.
Well,
we go at it.
I can only imagine what it would be like to go at it with you and all your siblings and everything, and just be like, So, what about your relationship status? What you got going on there? Anything interesting?
No, I'm single. My brother's single, man. This is all I do. This is no wife, no girlfriend.
MMA is your wife.
MMA is my wife. This is me 100% of the time. Like I said, I train in the morning, I do workouts in the morning, then jiu-jitsu in the evenings, some stuff in the middle of the day, and then more training at night, man. It's literally my life every single day. And I go and cross train a good bit. So I love it. I love it. I never thought this would have been my life ever, because I never even grew up watching fighting, but I got into it and I love it, man. I love it.
And you're thriving at it. So congratulations on all the success so far. August 20th, you guys, this is Torrez Finney. He's going to be returning to Dana White Contender Series for the second time. He's going to make himself undeniable. He's going to get it. He's going to get a contract. I fully believe this kid's going to get a contract. Last time he was on the second round submission, they just didn't give him a contract for whatever reason. But as you heard, if you've been listening to the interview, he was upset for 5 minutes and they just moved on and continued to improve his game, and now he's back where he belongs.
That's right.
Give him all your social media.
My social media on everything is at Punisher Torrez, PUNISHER Torrez TORREZ. That's on Twitter, that's on Snapchat, that's on Instagram. Obviously, you can type my name in on Facebook, Torrez Finney. You might see my dad, but you'll see me with my picture. So, but we both have the same name on there. But that's my social media handles. And I want to say I'm very thankful, like again, to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for allowing me to be able to do this, and very thankful to my gym and team of Gogan Combatives, all my training teammates, Trevor Peake, Garrett Gross, Josh Booker, Zane Burton, those guys. Dwayne Luck with all those boys, my coaches, Larry Scott, Matt Harris, Sterling Peace, sponsors, Pete Connect Performance, Wham Bam, Phil Benamino, man, he's very helpful. Robert White and Johnny Jones, they're so helpful to me. They are what helped me, allow me to train full time. So thankful and very blessed to have them, and thankful for a lot of people that are in my life to allow me to be able to do this, to be the best I could possibly be.
Absolutely. And there's one more thing we got to do with you on the show. I don't know if you were listening when I had Kai Stewart on, but this is your first time on the show, and I always throw the fighters something uncomfortable to do at the end of their interview, just because it's fun, and the fans like to see a little bit of a, uncomfortability in a fighter sometimes, So are you ready?
Yeah. What is it?
I always ask every fighter first time on the show, every person first time on the show, fighter or not, because sometimes I get managers and shit too.
Yeah.
Ask them to sing for us.
Oh, sing.
Yeah, sing.
Okay.
You don't have to sing a whole song, but you got to give us a little bit.
Okay, I'm a country boy, so I know a little something. So,
shit, watch out, y'all. Here he is, Torrez Finney, singer, not fighter.
I'm gonna go all the way for it then. You know you like my chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And the radio. So I was raised underneath the shade of a Georgia pine. And that's home, BT pecan pie, homemade wine, where the peaches grow. And my house is not much to talk about, but it's filled with love and grown in the southern ground. Hey, so I know a little bit of that. So yeah.
That was awesome, bro. I love Chicken Fry. That's a great song, man. It's fucking outstanding. Listen, and it's funny because you came on at 8:45 or 8:50.
Yes, sir.
And we were scheduled for half an hour, but it's 9:43, so you've been on for almost an hour. My next guest, I messengered her. She hasn't come back, so I guess we're just gonna close the show with you tonight. Thank you for staying for some extra time. Phenomenal interview, dude. You've got this part of the game figured out, so when a microphone gets in front of your face, no problem for you. You've proven that tonight, man.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much, dude. Makes my job and the reason I love doing this so much more fun and easy when I got a guy like you who's versed in what they're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm passionate about it.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, listen, you go enjoy the rest of your night, man. Have a good day of training tomorrow. We'll see you August 20th on the Contender Series. We'll be rooting for you here, KSR Christopher James and Fight Bananas. And that's it. Any last words you want to shout out to people?
No, sir. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
All right, man. Peace out. Good night.
You too. Thank you.
Boys and girls, that was Torrez Finney, man. What a smart guy. 25 years old. Sounds like a fucking seasoned veteran already. And, he can fight. He can win anywhere. Well, we were supposed to have Christine Ferea on at 9:15. It's 9:45. I ran long with Torrez Finney. Thank God. But I don't know where the champ is. So we're going to try to reschedule that, get in touch with her. Sometimes things happen. So I don't ever get mad at fighters. Sometimes, training or, family stuff. Anything could be the reason for her not being here. But, we'll get her and we'll talk to her. I know there's a couple people watching that we're really looking forward to hearing from the champ and had some questions of their own to ask the champ that they were going to pop in the comments. But we'll have to save that for next time. Boys and girls, next week, UFC fighters Jimmy Flick, Kurt Hollabaugh, excuse me, and BKFC 155-pound contender Tony Loco Soto going to be joining us on the show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, Fight Bananas YouTube channel. Great content. We're doing shows 5-6 days a week now at Fight Bananas. I'm going to do better next week because I won't be sick. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I was happy to be back. And I can't wait to see what we have coming up next. Don't forget tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Make sure you tune in here on the YouTube, just in case we don't get the Facebook issue fixed, for Dave Van Auken and the crew for Fight Bananas, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's it. Glad to be back, guys and girls. I hope you had a good time. We'll see you next week. I am Christopher James, and you've been Cage Side on Fight Bananas. Good night, everybody.